Good evening. We are here with Neeraja Aptikar, a classical exponent who is trying her best to spread Indian classical music in Canada, especially in the city of Vancouver. So let us try to understand how her journey in this field of music is all about. So, Neeraja madam, will you please tell us when actually you started and thought of singing, especially classical singing?
Thank you, Shrinivas. Thanks for my interview. I was born in the family where music is very much important and appreciated from my mother's family and as well as my father's side. And grandmothers from both families, and they have a lot of musical abilities.
Okay,
And then my aunts, they were also learned
okay,
classical music. I was born in Pune. So
yeah,
basically, in childhood, my grandfather, my mother's father, he used to take me to so many musicians to listen big concerts. For
oh,
example, I was less than 1 year old, and I used to attend complete concert of Dr. Vasantrao Deshpande, Pandit Bhimsen Joshi. So
great,
basically, from childhood, I was exposed to Indian classical music and classical music in so many different also languages
yeah,
because of my grandfather. So my passion and attraction towards music was there from very very young age.
okay. So, in Pune, you started your singing career, or you started taking education in singing. Can you name some of the gurus from whom you took early lessons?
My early lessons basically in a young age, same time we were transferred to Satara.
Okay,
Yeah, but that hunger or thirst of music was always there,
yes,
and I started. My first guru was Pendharkar
okay,
in Satara, so I
yes,
learned some basic music with him, and
yeah,
also I learned some music with Shri Prabhakar Pant Joshi.
oh, great,
So Prabhakar Pant Joshi, several years I was there, but when I became in like a teenager, I decided that I have to move in Pune as soon as
okay,
possible once I finish my education, because
right,
every year I used to go and I still do.
okay,
I never missed Savai Gandharva Music Festival
right,
from really from my childhood,
okay,
and so many concerts. I used to sit in the front line and used to listen really, really with patience and lot of interest. So I used to take notes, and still I have notes
great,
from 1980, 1981, 82, and then different
oh,
bandishes are written. What is the different styles of different people they do? So still I was like into it, and then I moved to Pune after my post graduation actually.
yes,
But before, in my post graduation, I was in Karad, and
okay,
I found a very good music teacher. Her name is Shipra Kulkarni,
okay,
and she's from Dharwad.
oh, yeah, I
And
see,
luckily, I got to learn Kirana from her. That was one of my main attraction towards Kirana Gharana.
क्या बात है,
Yeah. So those 2 years, I was either studied or I was in the lab or I was at in doing riyaz or learning at Shipra Kulkarni.
great,
I never did other collegians what they go together. Yeah. So and then I moved to Pune and I
hmm,
was introduced to Pandit Shivaji Rao Bharati.
okay,
Now he's no more,
okay,
and he was a great vocalist of Kirana Gharana. He was a disciple of Pandit Balakrishna Bua Kapileshwari,
oh,
who is also a disciple of Savai Gandharva.
yes,
So again, I got to learn a
yes,
very authentic style of Kirana from him.
okay,
So whatever from say 1993 to until I was like living for Canada,
yeah,
I all those years I was seriously learning with Pandit Shivaji Rao Bharati.
Okay.
He's one of my Khayal, Bandish, some Dadra, Bhajan guru,
Okay.
as well as I learned with some theoretical part, basically theoretical part from Dr. Vikas Kashalkar of Lalit Kala Kendra.
Okay.
And wherever there are workshops, when there are any kind of a private concerts, I
Hmm.
used to go and attend and try to observe and learn all the time.
Great. Can you name a few persons who could be considered as your idols in classical vocal?
In classical vocal, I grew up with listening. My very first love was Srimati Malini Razurkar.
Oh, great.
That was my mother always wanted me to hear, and she used to say that voice
Okay.
has to be open and it has to be crystal clear like her.
Yes.
Then Kishori Amolkar,
Yeah.
then Bharat Ratna Pandit Bhimsen Joshi,
Yeah.
Dr. Prabha,
Great.
and afterwards Ustad Rashid Khan, Ustad Arshad Ali Khan,
Great.
and also my guru. He's a plus artist of radio. So
Okay.
from 2003 to right now, I am learning with her. Her name is Professor Jayashree Ranade.
Oh,
She's one of the well-known teacher and singer in Hindustani classical music, as
okay.
well as she is a very good vocalist in light classical like Thumri, Dadra, Hori, Chaiti. So I last more than 10 years I am learning from
Jai
Jayashree.
Shri Ranari. Okay. Great. Now the thing is that you spoke about Savai Gandharva. Means those were the days Savai Gandharva used to happen in Renuka Surup, and then it shifted to Raman Bagh, then it shifted to this thing.
Yes.
These days, whatever is happening, that due to timing restrictions, 10 p.m. shutdown. Don't you think some ragas, some performances, some experiments are missing due to such restrictions? Because people have to sing the ragas of that particular time slot, means afternoon ragas or evening ragas.
In the
There-
midnight, even like
midnight,
early
yes.
morning ragas, yeah.
We are missing, means all are missing. No early ragas, no.
That time it
Exactly.
used to start at 4 o'clock. So
Yes.
still we used to hear some Vimpalas or
Yes.
late afternoon ragas.
Yeah.
And generally that time one big difference is a lot of artists, they used to sing uh, Bada Khayal in depth for
Exactly.
45 minutes or
Yes.
even 50 minutes.
Yes.
And then they used to sing some light classical or
Yes.
any bhajan.
Semi-classical.
And it wasn't like you start with the madhyalay ek tal or madhyalay teen tal. It used to go with that particular, complete badhat or the improvisation
Yes.
in detail according to their gharana or whatever. And there wasn't
These
any.
days it is not happening.
These days, I think organizers are also having a lot of pressure, and it's
Exactly.
not at Savai Gandharva only.
Everywhere.
It's everywhere. Like
Okay.
even it depends on where you're singing. For example, if I'm singing somewhere in Canada as well, depends on organizer. They said, okay, don't keep it too much hardcore classical because then people get bored because there
Yes.
are all kind of people. So we have to think, okay, something is little bit upbeat dadra or upbeat keherwa, and
Yeah.
it has to be like a public pleasing kind of
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
And you have to just do some, nice akars and articulation. And the only target is not like look into yourself. It's like to make others happy. Like it's like what you say, the everything has to be super fast.
Yes. These days it is seen that due to reality shows of various this thing, singing and all, the students who are learning, they are very much eager to perform on stage. They are not ready to take efforts, what we call sadhana. So, what do you think? Music will die because of this?
I don't think music will die, but music is going through a lot of transformation basically.
Okay.
And transformation is always good.
Yeah.
Means, for example, I remember at Savai Gandharva, there was a performance of Dr. Ashwini Bhide Deshpande.
Okay.
And chief guest for that particular time was P.L. Deshpande.
Oh,
Yeah,
great.
which is, yeah. So he he mentioned that day. He said some people they will say if you come to me and then you have to 12 years sit here and then you have to do this kind of a riyaz and
Yes,
practice.
yes.
So that is true. But now at that time, Pula said if you have a brain, if you have use it properly for riyaz in
Okay.
a right way, then the intelligent and hard worker person
Can
that
perform.
can do it in 2 3 years even if he
Yes.
does it regularly.
Great.
But I think it depends on my guru's time also, that they didn't have any audio visual facilities.
Yes.
They used to live at guru's place. They had
Okay.
to do even home chores and all kind of services to the
Yeah.
guru and do all kind of cooking, cleaning, bringing water. And then whatever time comes, they used to repeat one taan for 100 times, 1,000 times, and
Hmm.
only one rag initially Yaman used to go for whole 1 year.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still prefer that there is no shortcut for
Hmm.
success of music for anything. You have to learn particular rag,
Yeah.
the riyaz in a traditional way.
Yes.
Not maybe 1,000 times, but
Yes.
you have to be very um, what I say, dedication has to be there,
Focused. Specific.
focused
Yes.
completely, and more than the quantity of time, quality is very important
Exactly.
to do it really properly. So basic rag like Yaman, Bhoop, Yaman Kalyan, Durga, Bageshri, and other rag like semi-classical light like Des, then Des, Kafi,
Yes.
all kind of thing. We have to do it really properly. If you give like 3 to 4 years for really a basic thing, then you can understand the rag of chalan. They
Yes.
come much
Yes.
forward. Otherwise there is no point in doing concerts and everything.
Classical music is not an instant coffee.
No,
It
no,
has to be
no. It is
cooked
a
in properly.
lifelong
Yes.
process.
Yes.
And sometimes people ask, how are you learning from these many years of people? No, you are not done with all this. So I said maybe people have BA, MA, PhD
Yes.
or so many degrees, but not everybody is able to perform with that.
Exactly.
If the music is really connected with your soul and you sing with your whole being, then you can do little bit something. And
क्या
then,
बात है
yeah.
क्या बात है
Uh,
this is really a great thought means
yeah,
today's this learners or whoever is willing to make career in classical music, you should remember this all the time.
yeah, but it depends on what's their definition of career. Like, for example, like
Yes.
means I think for me it doesn't matter where I live,
Hmm.
but music is like a breath or it's
Yes.
like a life. There is some vision, there is some goal,
Yeah.
and that my goal is to share music with everybody,
क्या
whoever.
बात
It can be American, it can be Canadian, it can be Chinese, anybody who wants to. And other thing is there's no shortcut, there's no quick fix kind
है
of thing.
exactly.
You have to really go through that process.
Yes.
And then you when you take it that rag or all these notes inside you, then you can you have to feel rag and you have to do it.
Right.
If you I think if we do it like a shortcut or quick fix something, then you will be able to do only that kind of piece, or you are going to copy somebody.
Yeah.
It's not your own. It has to
Yes.
be sadhana and vyasanga, what we call.
Yes.
So it's a lifelong journey you have to keep doing all the time.
Great. Starting music tuitions in Vancouver, how this idea struck to your mind and how it initiated?
Basically, that idea was in my mind, was already started in Pune or India
Okay.
itself.
Yes.
And I used to work as a microbiologist, which was a full-time job. There was a time to go, but then I was working like sometimes 10 hours, 12 hours,
Oh.
and then my time for riyaz was sometimes even 10 p.m.
Oh.
here. So basically I wanted to always share music. And the good thing is my Guruji, Shivaji Rao Bharati, he always encouraged me. So while I was learning with him, he said, "You have ability. Can you teach up to certain like
Okay.
first 2 3 years?" So
Yes.
I said, "Yeah." So he said, "If you try to do that, you
Hmm.
will get riyaz, you will learn
Exactly.
more, and then
Yes.
you will make yourself polished every time while
Exactly.
teaching." So that I have started doing in my remaining time after job. But as long as in 2001 I moved to Canada, and there also I worked in certain laboratories and the
Okay.
same kind of thing. But then I realized that here people are, they need more kind of a music in an authentic way. So
Yes.
where I live, there are so many institutes there. Pandit Jasraj School is there,
Yeah.
Agra School is there, then Naad Academy is there. There are several good schools. But I started teaching with, I think, one or two students
Okay.
initially.
Okay.
But then till now it's almost 17 years completed, and
Yeah.
I did workshops named Sangeet Sadhana.
Yeah.
I did more than 35 workshops, and
Oh.
maybe my lots of Canadian students, Canadian Caucasian students
Okay.
are more than 500,
Oh. Oh.
and
Great.
some of them they are, and then I always tell them that there is no like only I like a besan laddu or I only like this, I cannot try. So if you are very narrow minded, you are
Hmm.
not going to progress anywhere.
Yeah.
So don't
You
say,
have
oh,
to be
I don't
open.
listen. Huh? You have to be open minded,
Exactly.
because music is like a ocean, and everywhere we see those, it's like called Ratnakar, means so much in its
Yeah.
stomach. So uh, I, with the classical also, I teach them Natya Sangeet to make their dam saas very
Oh.
strong, because every
Great.
language is very different. And then myself, I told them you have to teach in, you have to learn in like different languages. So I, some of them, one name is Dr. Timothy Van Cleve. He's now in
Okay.
Portland. But he
Okay.
sings in those all languages like Kannada, Marathi,
Oh.
then Sanskrit, then Bangla, Hindi, Urdu, and as of course in English.
क्या बात है.
So lots of my students, they are non-Maharashtrian. Means I'm
Hmm.
Maharashtrian, that's why I'm saying. But
Exactly.
music has no such boundary or
Yes.
any
Yes. Yes.
language.
Yes. Yes.
I have so many German students, so many Afghanistani students,
Oh.
Pakistani students, and sometimes if my pronunciation of any Urdu gets like little weird, and if they fix it,
Hmm.
I also learn from them.
Yes.
I don't say, oh, I know this, you have to follow me. No. Whatever I know, I try to give them best. But whatever the creativity comes, and if they
Yes.
said, Nirjaji, this is, you have to say this one,
Oh.
then I write it down and I
Okay.
make myself correct, because we have limitations of our own language.
Right.
So it's a learning process for me for
Yes.
many years. So that's how I started classes.
How is
And
the acceptance? Means how fast do they learn? Because they are not having any prejudices. They are like clear Kori party, what we say.
yeah.
So,
No, basically there is a one distinct thing is, uh, there are some students are there, they always hear that Indian
oh,
classical music is very spiritual,
oh,
it is meditative, it reduces your stress, or it's good for you, and
okay,
it's connected with the yoga. So
oh,
our music is also a Nada yoga, and the way we have a chakras in yoga, there is a
yes,
concept. The same thing, Saregama Padhani Sa,
Nisa,
they are connected to your
yes,
body. So when we see that real singers, authentic singers are singing, they sing from their whole body, and they themselves are into like in a different mode. They
क्या
are
बात है.
not, like looking at people that who is happy to see me, how am I doing. If that is the thing, then I think that is very fake, or it is something pretending, or that's
Exactly.
very short-lived kind of thing. So
Yes,
basically, there are students from the yoga studios. They came to
okay,
me first, most
okay,
of them Westerners,
okay,
and some of them they requested me. They want some Sanskrit shlokas to it to clear their voice
oh,
speech.
oh, oh.
So that was one of the advantage for them and for me as well. What I have
Correct,
learned
yes,
with my grandfather Neeraja Aptikar, who was Sanskrit
yes,
scholar. And then there are a lot of people, they say, oh, how long I have to learn this one. So you don't worry about money or anything, but you have to have some patience and passion
exactly,
if you want to do really. And then generally it happened, those who are really want to do, they stayed long, and they kind of uh, made my name as a teacher, because they were doing really, really
yes,
good practice. Akhil Joban Putra, now he is learning with Pandit Jasraj and Sanju
okay,
Abhyankar. Then another big name is Jakpreet Bajwa.
okay,
He learned 6 years with me, and he won second runner-up prize for Z Saregama
Oh,
last time.
okay.
So he was coming from Vancouver, Canada to Mumbai,
Oh,
and he stood second.
क्या बात है.
Then there is another Kirti Arneja who has her own band and name in Canada. But all of them, they are highly trained in Hindustani classical. If you ask
Oh.
them, you are singing something this, but do you know Rag Shankara? They will sing complete Aro Avro, they will show
Oh,
you dance.
क्या बात है.
So then I'm very strong in my opinion that I tell if you need to be a musician in 2 months or 1 month, I'm not a right person. I cannot do that. And
Yes.
there are so many music schools around. Please go
No,
there.
yes.
I respect your opinion. But if you want to come with me, you have to follow certain things.
Yes.
And then I'm like pretty very friendly, very playfully teaching, like with lot
Okay.
of humor. There is no, oh, I'm a teacher and you have to sit this, you have to do that. Like so that is not. They're very
Yes.
like we are like a
Yes.
family.
Yes.
I have more than 1,000 people in Canada and America. They are like my
Oh,
family. And
great.
my teaching is not related to only Vancouver.
Exactly.
I opened my one of the branch in
Okay.
Winnipeg, Canada.
Yeah.
Then I traveled thoroughly through Calgary and so many states,
States. Yeah.
even states in United USA. So basically, it depends on where you go, and there is one thing, like friends or whatever. There should be a good connection in between
क्या
teacher
बात है.
and student.
Student.
You have to get along with. If I'm like strict or my method is very rigid that I'm going to do this and everybody, that is not possible.
That will not work.
No, that is 100% not going to
Yes.
work. And then there are, gossip, you don't get along with people, make stories, they become miserable. I do not want that. So from last 17 years, whoever started coming,
Yes.
now those teenagers are already got
Yes.
married, few of them in Montreal, few of them in UK, few
Yes.
of them in another country. But whenever they come to visit their parents or own city, their first day they will call, oh Neeraja Tai, do you have time? Can I come please? Can we sing that boop again?
Oh,
So I feel it
great.
really, really good. It's like a family.
Yes, yes.
Another thing is from last more than 2 years, I took challenge in a way to teach special needs kids and those kids who are having high autistic kids,
Oh,
then Down syndrome kids, or
okay.
the kids have some cognition problem. Means they
Okay.
are not the what we call special needs, or here they call Divyanga. I don't like that word, but they are really gifted kids. And there is one student whose name is Arunika Sharma. She's now 18 years old.
Okay.
She started just saying that the mama at age 8 and 9.
Oh,
So parents were pretty sure ki when is she going to talk, because still she doesn't have conversation. But from more than 2 years she is learning and she sings some songs exactly like Lata Mangeshkar or Shreya
Oh.
Ghoshal.
क्या बात
She
है.
can hit third octave, she can go third saptak up to pa dha, which is not possible for even normal people who are
Yes.
doing, and does riyaz every day. I have another student, his name is Siddhant Lalwani, he's Down syndrome.
Okay.
So I teach him like on the board, like
Oh,
sa re ga ma pa dha ni. So if there is a skipping note accordingly,
yes.
so he can visually he get the idea that okay, there is no ga, there is sa ga. Means he
Oh,
has to do. But if I only say, he won't understand. Or
exactly.
he understand, but he can. So I
Okay.
have to make like different like blocks or make different pages,
Yes.
put it colorful, and according to make it visual that he understand. And working on their speech.
This is great effort
And
you are
he is
taking.
like singing so nicely, and those students, I'm really inspired by them that
Oh.
there is no excuse. They are like one hour. They are seriously listening and doing riyaz, and now slowly doing performances are little
Yes.
light music.
Yes.
But there are some students they are doing also heavy hardcore classical music every year.
Great.
And yeah, I feel thankful for it. I do not need anything from like to say I'm a guru. No, I'm a learner and I'm still learning in Pune. That's why I came here for Savai Gandharva festival, and I met a lot of musicians, artists, musicologists, and those scholarly people.
Yes.
And that gives me some purpose in life and vision in life, because there are psychiatrists, psychologists, and some counselors. They send their patients to
Yeah.
me because some people they like music. It's their it helps them to be
Hmm.
happy, but on the way of life they forgot to
Exactly.
sing. That's why those people they come out of lot of uh, stress, peer pressure, or they find themselves in
Yes.
music.
And the last question. What is music to you in your life?
Music in my life is my breath and my life, and I feel I survive because of music, because that is a driving force. It
Oh,
constantly gives you some kind of a energy to go
energy.
forward throughout the music, because it's a
Yes.
creativity, and it's not about just doing shows or doing concerts or getting awards. That is one part of it.
Yes.
I don't feel that is very important, but and for encouragement that is needed. But
Hmm.
mainly, music is something extremely important in our life. It is in the in the wind, near water, in the
Yeah.
river, in the ocean,
All elements.
everywhere. So whatever our sages have taught us before 6,000 years, that is only it's a sounds of nature. So
Yes.
if we connect with our nature, then we don't get those elements what we called as a psychosomatic illnesses,
Exactly.
because when we forget our nature and we disconnected from ourselves,
Yes.
we feel then that stress, and it affects us so badly. So for me, music is life. And for example, we call sur means any kind of a
Yes.
sound which can be chirping bird or animals, or we singing, even small kids when they make
Yes.
very pretty sounds while talking, that's also music. And like our heart is a percussion or the rhythm instrument in the body.
Yes.
If we have no heart, or heart is not functioning, we know it's the same thing. Like, so tal and
Yes.
sur
Are
has to go with together in a balancing thing.
great.
So I feel for normal, human life, happy human life. I'm not saying happy in terms of any material
Yes.
happiness,
Yes.
because that is unending. But end of the day, if you have music, if you even hear, if you listen, if you learn, if you sing, you will be much peaceful
Yes.
than just
Anything
running
else?
towards all this what we
Materialistic
call
things.
materialistic, or what we call to the illusion
Illusions.
of
Great.
success. So I feel that is good, and thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.